Hey friends, this is Free Opinion bringing my free opinion, and we're looking over here at the Epoch Times. Senator Ron Paul turned around and suggests that statistical fraud in states where Trump lost, which are the states where there were those unusual spikes, or some people are calling them vote dumps, where in the middle of the night there were a bunch of votes counted and all of them leaning one way. Let's go ahead and read this a bit, though. On Saturday, Senator Ron Paul on Saturday pointed to a data analysis alleging statistical anomalies occurred in 4 battleground states on November 4th. The unsigned analysis, which appears to align with number crunching by data expert Justin Hart, says Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden received several vote spikes in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Georgia early on the day after Election Day, enabling him to overcome President Donald Trump. While data analysis cannot on its own demonstrate fraud or statistical issues, it can point us to statistical anomalous cases that invite further scrutiny. The analysis authors wrote, "Our analysis finds that a few key vote updates in competitive states were unusually large in size and had an unusual high Biden to Trump ratio. We demonstrate the results differ enough from expert results to be cases for concern." So what he's trying to tell people is, dude, we need to start looking into this. Which, from the story last night, the FBI is finally like, all right, guys, we'll do our job. We'll look into it. Which is what they should have been doing from the beginning. The first day somebody was like, hey, there's voter fraud. They should have been on it, because the longer you wait, the more evidence that can be destroyed. The analysis also suggests anomalies occurred in Pennsylvania. I could tell you anomalies occurred in Pennsylvania. I live here, and if you drive around, there's not a lot of people that will openly say they're voting for Biden. But if you drive around, especially in my area, Trump flags and signs everywhere. Paul, the junior senator of Kentucky, shared a link to the analysis on Twitter. Interesting. Trump's margin of defeat in 4 states occurred in 4 data dumps between 1:34 and 6:31 a.m. Statistical anomaly? Fraud? Look at the evidence and decide for yourself. That is, if big tech allows you to read this, he wrote. And the reason that he put that up there is because when Sidney Powell put up her court case, the overlords at Twitter silenced it. They made it to where you could not use the link to get to her page. Even I tried to share it just to see if it was true, and they told me that the link was possible malware or something like that. And I'm like, Sidney Powell's website isn't malware. What are you guys talking about? But, whatever. The overlords at YouTube don't want to be the arbiters of truth, and I'm getting tired of it. They basically own a monopoly on information. If they don't want you to see something, they will throttle it, or just flat out block it, or in the president's case, say that everything he tweets has been contested. If I was him, I would start tweeting every time I had a bowel movement and see if they can test that as well. Let's see. Twitter appended a warning to users saying, "This claim about election fraud is disputed." See, they're always doing that. And linked to a general page that alleges voter fraud is exceedingly rare. Yeah, when it's widespread. But when you're just doing it in very key areas that you need to win the election, it's not going to look like widespread voter fraud. So guess what? Nobody could say that it's widespread voter fraud because technically it's not. Trump earlier Sunday said world leaders called him on election night to congratulate him, as it appeared he was on track to win. This election was over, and then they did dumps. They called them dumps big. They called them dumps big, massive dumps in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and all over. If you take a look at, you just take a, if you take a look at, you just take a look at just about every state that we're talking about, every swing state that we're talking about, and they did these massive dumps of votes. And all of a sudden, I went from winning by a lot to losing by a little, Trump said during an interview with Fox News Sunday morning features. Trump cited affidavits from poll observers and election workers attesting to irregularities, including vehicles arriving at the TCF Center in Detroit early November 4th with boxes of ballots. Efforts to challenge election results in Michigan and other battleground states by Trump's campaign and others have thus far been mostly unsuccessful. Some judges have ruled in favor of the campaign, only to have the ruling overturned by higher courts. That is why I think that there is a lot of weird stuff going on, okay? How is it that lower courts are like, no, there's definitely something wrong here. We're going to kick it up to the higher court so they can rule on it. And then the higher courts are just like, no, nothing to see here, folks. Sweep that under the rug. Let's keep going. No. I'm sorry, but what people like me and a bunch of other creators on YouTube are starting to realize that this is looking more and more like the only way to get back. You know what? I'm not even going to start dooming and glooming. But what I'm saying is, we're going to have to fight tooth and nail to figure out what happened here. They're trying to cover up stuff that most of us look at and we're like, why are you doing this? They're trying to cover up the little bits of fraud, even though the same stuff that they're saying can never happen. I believe it's in Detroit. There is a woman that's being charged with felonies right now, 6 felonies, for doing exactly this, I believe, in the 2018 primaries. State officials have pushed back on claims of fraud, including Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, a Democrat. Well, we already knew a Democrat would push back on anything that might make her party look bad. Michigan elections have been fair and transparent. No, they haven't. Nessel said in a statement this month. It is time to set the politics aside and focus on moving our state and country forward together. Then why is it, if you want to move this country forward so bad, do you not want to allow people to look at the information that would make it easier for us to move forward? At this point, folks, I think we're in a fight for this country, and we need to fight tooth and nail, because there's no way that these establishment Democrats, and I'm even talking about these the Attorney General that is a Democrat, she doesn't want anybody to look into it. Why? You would think these people that take an oath to uphold the Constitution and always look for truth would at least do an investigation. It took over a month for the FBI to start getting interested in this, and that's after somebody else did all the work for them. But hey guys, this is just my opinion. Please let me know what you guys think, because at this point I'm thinking that there's some stuff that's going to be uncovered, and there's a lot of people upset that the FBI is going forward with an investigation now. But like I said before, they should have already been investigating this seeing as they would investigate Trump for 4 years on a dossier that was paid for by the DNC and the Clinton Foundation. They went all against Trump on this Russia collusion hoax just to find out that it was all a lie. But they won't go and check into voter fraud. Man, there's some weird stuff happening, and I'm hoping that a lot of stuff comes out because this is exciting, to tell you the truth. I've been loving reading every bit of this because, win or lose, this has been an exciting election cycle. Guys, please, when you're out and about today, be nice to someone.